Hello, coming to you from there, a hotel room in Dallas. Not the Dublin background, but I just locked my. This is on the Kindle, the paperweight Kindle. Looks like it's backwards. Mumbai, 24 hours earlier from the last chapter. Shri had come home upset. She climbed the stairs of her apartment building, went in and made coffee. She knew her mind would be turning over for a few hours. You think too much, her son had told her many times. She turned on the kettle and went into the living room. She saw his photograph on the shelf and went over to pick it up, his smile. So young. It will always be painful, but the pain will dull more and more over the years, said the counsellor some weeks after the event. But it will never go away, she asked. No. In Shri's spirit, the pain was the same as if it was the day it happened. Years had not dulled it. Perhaps the pain diminished at the same rate the heart weakened. This could explain why the pain level remained. Her thought pattern was interrupted by the whistle of the kettle. She sat back down in the living room and started to run a scene through her mind that happened earlier that day. Why are you spending time with another agent? You have a job to do there. Like Peter, she had tried to defend herself, but it just increased his anger. Shri knew that, were she a man, more restraint would have been applied to his demeanour. Hand me your mobile phone. Why? Just do it. But all my phone numbers are on this phone. Don't worry. I will return the phone with all the information, but with a different phone number. She wondered why her personal phone number needed to change. Her mind went back to the previous few days. Peter was the only person she had given her mobile phone to in the last week. That event, mixed with her superior's anger, put everything in focus. If Peter called her mobile phone now, it would be disconnected. She understood that Europe was under threat. Much ground needed to be covered with a handful of agents, but what was the harm in two controllers getting to know each other? Why wasn't this a conversation where both Peter and Shri agreed to keep a distance between their agents while conversing as friends? Couldn't they be more effective if the controllers collaborated? Your paranoid mother, she could hear him say from his photograph. She needed to talk to Peter. If only to be talked down from her ledge of paranoia. But how would she get a hold of him? She thought about their conversation and remembered him saying he worked in a shop. Texaco? She was almost sure that was the name, but something seemed off. She started to search the internet Texaco shop, Dublin. She called the first entry the Rathfarnham shop. Hello, is there a Peter there? Sorry, love, no one here by that name. I'm sorry to disturb you, but is there another shop in Dublin with a name like Texaco? You have a friend who works there, but I'm not confident it's Texaco. But there's a Tesco, would that be it? Yes, I believe that is it now. She hung up and redid her search. She saw one shop by the water, remembering Peter said he liked to walk by the ocean. Tesco Sandymount, Peter speaking. Peter, it's Shri. They took my mobile phone. Who's this? Shri in Mumbai. I'm sorry, miss, I don't know you. I'm Peter Darcy. Is that who you're looking for? Oh, I'm not sure of his last name. I'm sorry. Does he work at Tesco? Yes, I believe so. There's a Peter Casey at the Bagot Street location. I can give you that number. Thank you, sir. She called Bagot Street. Next, and Neve answered, informing Shri that Peter was off but could call her back the next day. The next morning, Shri left to open the shop. Her sister had come to visit and was staying at the apartment. She would have dinner ready for Shri when she got home. She worked a long day and closed the shop and went home. A man named Peter called you. He sounded British. Is he your new boyfriend? I'm not overdoing the Indian accent because that's what I would tend to do, by the way. Little remark there. No, a friend I met online. He is an Irishman. Did he leave a number? No, he said he would call back later. Diary of Michelle Casey, July 14th, 2016, Nice, France. Peter just went out to get some coffee. All these years and he still gets me coffee in bed, even now on our holidays. The window is open and the curtain is swaying in the breeze. It's brilliant here. Very lively. Left Paris yesterday morning and made their journey here. Saw the Eiffel Tower and went up to the top. Peter was gas. He was trying to talk to these foreign people who didn't speak a word of English, trying to get them to take our photo. I love how he interacts with people. He's a natural. We're going to the fireworks tonight on the seafront. Should be great. Life is good. Peter placed the diary on the table. It was her last entry. In her lifetime, Peter would never have dreamed of reading it. Over the years, he had combed over her thoughts many times over. Life is good were her very last recorded words on paper. Don't focus on her final entry so much, Peter. It will just pump negativity into you, the counsellor had reminded him over and over. Focus on the better days. I'm not even sure if it's healthy to be reading her diary. I know, doctor. To this day, he could recite word for word her last entry. Peter closed the diary and looked at his watch. Why then? Why there? Why hadn't I persuaded her to go to another location? What if we had delayed the trip to Nice by a day? He thought to himself. It was fucking Bastille Day, he said to himself. That's why you picked that place, that date and place. You'll drive yourself fucking nuts with this. It wasn't my fucking fault. He tried to talk himself off the ledge many times to try to stop himself going back into the hole, but tonight he was sinking again. He was back in the ice cream shop in Nice, the sound of screeching tires, screams, shouts to stop. He turned to see a truck drive into the pedestrian area. She was on the ground when he got to her. Was it a dream? Her body crushed. The beautiful frame that carried her spirit through the world all those years crushed in a moment. Michelle. Torment. Her face still in shock, the light fading fast. She looked at him for a moment and then gone. Forever. The flame, the spark, the spirit of Michelle Ryan Casey gone from this world. If only he could scrape the walls of his mind clean and remove this image. He had looked up to see others like him kneeling over loved ones and strangers, the sounds of feet, wailing, screaming, gunshots, a halted truck in the distance. He peered into the horizon of evil that caused so much pain and felt at that moment in himself a dawn of hatred rising. You all right, Pete? Asked Dave, pulling him out of his trance. Yeah, just thinking, Dave. Dave smiled at his friend. Here you go, Dave. Keep the change for the phone bill. I need to make another call. I already told you, Peter, your money's no good here. Peter smiled at him and dialed Shri again. Hello? Shri, yes? Peter, Agent 13's controller. Peter, I know who you are. How are you? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. They took my mobile and they said they would be changing my number. This is very strange and confusing to me. I'm wondering if they want us talking, Peter. My superior was very angry with me for talking to you. Yes, so was mine. Why would they not want us talking to each other, Peter? I'm not sure, Shri. There you go. That, of course, was explains the death of Michelle, which was a real historic event in Nice. So that's it. I will record another one from this same spot. Thank you for listening. Back in the hotel here. I was trying to get something by the fire to get the real feeling, but the microphone went out on one of the last chapters. Ben Franklin could have drunk here. John Boy arrived first and then Powerix soon after. Rasher and Peter met at Tesco since Peter had to work late. Peter would close the shop at 10 p.m. and they would meet at the others at McDade's. The yacht not good enough for you anymore, John Boy? It's a special occasion. I want to try somewhere else. I got a promotion and I'm going to buy you guys the first 2 rounds. Ah, congrats, John Boy. That's great news. Now, you don't have to buy me one back. If you leave after 2, that's fine. Let me just highlight that for a second. Mark where I'm at. They're probably well on their way by now, Pete, said Rasher, while Peter was pulling down the metal cover over the shop front. I just hope he's not so locked that he forgets he promised us the first 2 rounds. Ah, don't worry, I'll remind him, Pete. They proceeded down Bagot Street past the Shelburne and Stephen's Green. Now, what's new with you, Pete? Asked Rasher. Well, I shot 2 dumb folks holding up a restaurant in Paris, then I ripped off the mirror of a wife-beater's car and crushed his fist. Then this hot Indian woman threw me down a flight of stairs and ripped half my face off. Oh, but we're good friends now, Pete thought to himself. Well, you know, stacked a few cans, sort of fruit and veg. Not much news on my side. How about you, Rasher? Not much, Pete. Did you hear about that guy in Paris who ran into the restaurant and shot the 2 lads holding up the place? Oh yeah, heard about that. Shocking stuff, said Peter. Poor fuckers weren't even holding real guns. Not good, Pete. People are tense. That John Wayne guy must be wound up trying to stop another Charlie Hebdo. That's my guess anyway. Yeah, crazy stuff, all right, Rasher. They arrived outside McDade's. A loud crowd of young people were talking outside. Peter instantly felt out of place. Why the fuck does he want to come here? Is he trying to really relive his youth? That's only one time, Pete. It's a big night for him. And besides, he's buying. They walked in and Pete felt overwhelmed by the shoulder-to-shoulder crowd. Sorry, they repeated as they made their way back through the mob, trying to get to the end of the bar where John Boy and Paul Rig were sitting. On their way, Peter couldn't help but notice a middle-aged American man talking to another young man. It's amazing to think that this place is so old Ben Franklin could have drank here, the American said. All right, lad, said John Boy. Heineken and a Guinness, he said to the busy barman. Your money's no good here, said John Boy to Peter as he noticed him take out his wallet. Peter made the motion with no intention to take any money out of it. He could tell that John Boy had been going strong for a bit. The drinks arrived and they toasted each other. Congrats on the promotion, John Boy, said Rasher. So what's the new job then? I'm managing the programmers now, project manager stuff. I still get to do some coding, please God, but mainly getting others to do the work. So you'll be like a corporation worker standing over the hole watching all the others dig. Yeah, pretty much, Rasher. Well, fair play to you, John Boy, and thanks for the beers. Cheers. Peter turned to look around. The sound of the American man behind him was distracting. It was as if he was projecting his voice right in Peter's direction. Well, it was nice talking to you. Look me up if you're ever in the US, he was saying to the young man who he had been talking to. Peter was afraid to make eye contact in case he became the new friend, but it was too late. The American smiled his way. Quite the crowd here tonight, eh? Oh yeah, packed, said Peter. Before Peter could turn back to the lads. Pat Monahan, Chicago. Oh, hi, Peter, Ringsend. It's in Dublin. I know. Nice to meet you, Peter. Can I get you a pint? No, thanks. Just got one. How about something to go with it? Please don't let another Irishman drink alone. Well, if you insist, said Peter. The American ordered 2 shots of Paddy whiskey. So how long are you in Ireland? Not long, heading back shortly. Holidays? Just work. The whiskey arrived and the American toasted Peter. To new friends, said the American. Cheers. Where do you work? Asked Peter. The government. Doing what? I'd have to kill you if I told you. The American lowered the paddy in one shot. Peter followed suit so as not to be rude. What do you do? I work in a shop here in town, Tesco. So, what do you do when you're not working? Not too much. Do you ever go abroad? Oh yeah, I've been to Paris just once. That's about it. Paris is nice. What do you think of that recent activity over there? Oh, the restaurant? Yeah, that, but also the guy who crushed another guy's fist after he ripped the mirror off his car. Peter paused. What the fuck? How does he know about that? It was quite the scene, said Monaghan. Oh, was that on the news? I didn't see it, said Peter. No, it wasn't on the news. I just know about it, said the American. I need to go to the toilet. I'll be right back, said Peter. Please do. I'll keep your drink safe. Peter went into the toilet to collect his thoughts. How did he know about the wife beater? That wasn't big enough news to become international. Perhaps the man had been to Paris and made local news. He said he worked for the US government. Maybe it was known in government circles. Fucking relax, man, Peter said to himself in the mirror. He returned to his seat. Yeah, crazy stuff in Paris lately, continued the American. Then there was the small Indian chick who threw the guy down the stairs in Paris. He was twice her size. Oh, I didn't hear about that either. Was that also in the news? Oh, yeah, said the American. So you must have been in Paris. That doesn't sound like big news, like restaurant shooters. And then the woman tears his face off with her fingers, and then it gets fixed. Are you one of Thompson's guys? Said Peter. No, sir, I'm not. Peter leaned in close to his face. Then how the fuck do you know about all the stuff about me? The American put €20 on the bar, got up to leave. Best if you don't tell Thompson we talked. I'll be in touch. The man pushed his way through the crowd and Peter went after him, catching him outside on Harry Street. Why should I not tell Thompson? The American turned around and faced him. What's your end goal here in all of this, Mr. Casey? Hang on, I didn't tell you my last name. I purposely didn't. What's your end goal? To protect Europe from terrorists. The American stood silent for a moment, admiring the sincerity in Peter's voice. It's to ensure nobody gets through. It's to ensure nobody goes through what you went through, is it not? Peter looked at him as if he wanted to choke him. The sentence hit him in the chest, but then he softened. The American put his hand on Peter's shoulders. On his shoulder. I lost my son. I'm no stranger to the pain you must feel, but the enemy you seek may be very different from what you were told. And with that, he was gone. Peter stood outside the pub for a few moments. Peter, what's going on? Asked John Boy from behind him. Oh, nothing. John Boy looked past him in the direction of the departing American. Come on, Peter, you start talking to that guy, then you chase him out of the pub and now you're upset. Is this a lover's quarrel? Ah, for fuck's sake, John Boy. Pete, we'll still be friends. It's okay, the world has changed. Ah, would you fuck off with yourself? Then who is that bloke and why are you so mad? John Boy, listen, I need to head off. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well. I know it's... Don't give me that shite, Peter. Listen, I need to head. I'm really sorry. I know it's a big night. Fuck that, Peter. We can celebrate another time. Are you in trouble? No, John Boy. Peter, how long have we known each other? Ah, John Boy. How fucking long, bro? Since we were 4. I'll answer it for you. I've never known you to keep secrets. Peter took a deep breath and looked at John Boy. The face had aged over the years, but he could still see him running down the Star of the Sea ramp in the schoolyard. His uniform, his crooked tie, his messed up hair, his smile, the 5-year-old John Joseph Coyle. Can you meet me tomorrow, John Boy? Asked Peter. Yeah, where? You pick. Brown Sandymount, said John Boy. Name the time, John Boy, and give yourself enough time to sleep in from your celebrations. Lunch it is, smiled John Boy. You sure you won't come in for a second pint? Ah, sure. One more won't kill me. That's my Peter. And I'm looking forward to giving you tomorrow's video, which will be actually coming from Brown Sandymount. I'm in Dallas now, but yes, when I read next chapter, I'll be in Brown Sandymount. It's a long story.